all the social media channels for the Maryland Cycling Classic, as we will for the Night with Champions tomorrow night. And of course, to kick things off from a where to watch standpoint, certainly we want as many people as possible down here on Pratt and Market Street for the finish and the circuits that'll come in. You'll hear from Chris Ehrenholt on that. And then I think as Al Hutchinson said, man, it feels like it's been 10 years to get to this point with the COVID postponement. So hats off to everyone who's been involved. You'll hear from a lot of these speakers. It's been certainly a long haul to get here, but we are finally here for the inaugural Maryland Cycling Classic supported by UnitedHealthcare, and I think that just deserves a round of applause for the endurance of how we had to get to where we're at. So the man behind the scenes that's been working with us at KOM Sports and with Medalist Sports as event managers and promoter has been Terry Hasseltine, and Terry's the president of the audio here? Okay, came back on here. President of the Sport and Entertainment Corp of Maryland, and he's been phenomenal to work with, at least I think from an event standpoint, and we've really enjoyed through all the tribulations to get to know Terry and his team. Terry?
Little man issue. Well, thank you, Steve, and thank you to everybody who's up here on the dais and everybody out there in the audience. As Steve alluded to, this is many years in the making. I just want to quickly thank everybody who's put 1 ounce of effort into this thing, because that 1 ounce has turned into 10 ounces, which is now turned into a full glass, because here we are this weekend, kicking off the inaugural Maryland Cycling Classic supported by UnitedHealthcare. I want to thank all of our partners, all of our sponsors. Without you, we couldn't do it. The city, the state, the county, thank you, thank you, thank you. The roads are gorgeous. The scenery is going to be wonderful. The riders are going to have a great time. Thank you to U.S. Cycling, Brendan, and your team for the support and the vision of allowing us to get to this point. I want to take a moment to thank my big boss who's sitting in the audience, Mr. Tom Kelso, chairman of the Maryland Stadium Authority, for allowing me to do what I do. He gives me a lot of latitude. Thank you. I also want a big shout out to my team, Graham Waples, Marissa Melzer, Ashley Harper-Cottrell, Chris and Kevin Smith, and I'm sure I'm forgetting a few people along the way, but this has been a vision of ours for almost 4 years now, but we have to go back a little bit further because this has actually been a bigger vision. I remember calling Chris Ehrenholt with Medalist Sports back in '08 when we were talking about maybe doing some type of tour event across the state of Maryland, but then the recession hit. And so we backlogged on that a little bit and started monitoring the environment again to see how things were coming together. And then when Richmond won the rights to the World Championship, that kind of triggered, said the Mid-Atlantic and the East Coast is ripe and ready for major big-time cycling. And then our friends out in Hagerstown hosted the Amateur Road Nationals in 18 and 19, and that's when U.S. Cycling said, hey, I think you guys are ready. Let's make this happen. And so we put the team together, created a great band. You're going to see the fruit of that labor this weekend when you see the riders out on the course. Like I said, between KOM, Medalist, the city, the county, the state, it takes an entire village. But the person I really want to thank here is John Kelly. John Kelly, chair of the organization. When you want to run a big event, you have to go find someone who's committed and passionate about what we're doing. John Kelly is as committed and as passionate as a person you can find. So John, thank you very, very much. So, but bigger than that too, is you also have to find a good partner who understands how to build community development, how to relate the event that you're doing and also bring it to fruition. That's UnitedHealthcare. Joe, your team has been nothing but spectacular. If it weren't for Joe and his team, the pandemic could have probably shut us down completely. But UnitedHealthcare said, no, we're in, and we're going to help you get to the finish line and get there. So Joe, UnitedHealthcare, thank you so much for all you've done to make this successful. I'm going to let everybody else do the speaking about the course, about what you're going to see this weekend, about the enthusiasm, what this means to the state, what it means to the county, and what it means to the city. And without further ado, let's have some cycling happen on the streets of Baltimore and the greater Baltimore region. Thank you.
The state plays a big role in this public-private partnership in order to do these events because you need the roads and the public closure. Department of Commerce Secretary R. Michael Gill.
Thanks, Steve. Give Terry Hasseltine another hand. He shouted out Johnny, but between Johnny and Terry, just nailed it. So it's a big weekend for everyone. From the Lieutenant Governor and Governor Hogan, greetings, and how cool is this for Baltimore, for the whole state of Maryland, and it is so much fun because economic development is what my role is, but as I've always said to all the people, everything's economic development. So that's the way it should be, and this is one of the most important events that we've had in quite some time here in the Baltimore region. I started thinking about this weekend and September, because by the way, I'm one of those who always says that September is the true beginning of the new year. It's not January, it's September. Around this part of the country, it's when the weather gets a little cooler and you got to go look for a jacket once in a while, and the kids go back to school, and football starts up again. And this weekend in Baltimore, and the week ahead, the Orioles. Are you kidding me? We were supposed to already have forgotten about the Orioles and focused on the Ravens. Now Harbaugh and all are just going to have to wait a little bit longer to get the support of Oriole fans. But here we are. We can not only be in the playoffs, who knows, maybe in October we're in the World Series. So if you make the playoffs, everything else is possible. And then we got the Oakland A's this weekend. Next week, Fleet Week. There'll be tens of thousands of people here in Baltimore, all next week. And then the Maryland Cycling Classic. Are you kidding me? This is a big deal. It's the Masters, it's the PGA for our country in the sport of cycling. And how important is that for all of us? So from a standpoint of Maryland and these big deal events, they're fabulous. One of the expressions that I use a lot is best is the standard. And all I really mean when I say best is the standard is what is your best? And what is your best? And when you assemble a group of people like this to help bring together a great event, you get the best is the standard. Because this guy over here, he doesn't know what less than best is. You give your best. And the last thing I might just share with everyone, besides the fact of the sponsorships, because you can't do it, Kelly Benefit and UnitedHealthcare, Baltimore City, Baltimore County, Visit Baltimore, my great friend Al Hutchinson, his leadership, is another word I love. Goes both ways, but right now we only have it going one way, and that's momentum. We got momentum. So I think with this event this weekend and what's to come over the weeks ahead for Baltimore and this region, we're in a really good place. So thank you for everything you've done, and just proud to be part of it. Thank you.
The start of the race on Sunday is at 1:30 at Kelly Benefits headquarters. More than half the race is actually routed in Baltimore County, and so that's an important part. We've got this tale of two courses that you'll hear a little bit later from Chris Ehrenholt. And I'd like to thank Leonard Howie, Sam O'Neill, Kim Ralston. They've all been critical under the guidance of Johnny O and his leadership in Baltimore County. Johnny.
Thank you, Steve, and good afternoon to everyone. Before I get into remarks about the race, I just first want to say we all know that there were a lot of public safety leaders who have been a part of making this possible, and just want to pause and reflect a moment for our friends and fellow first responders in the Baltimore City Fire Department who unfortunately lost one of their own today on his way to work. So I know the mayor is here, is fully supportive of our efforts, but I think he's appropriately with the men and women of the fire department family today, and we all send our thoughts and prayers as they mourn that loss. We are very proud of the work that's gone into this effort, and we're proud of the men and women who are in our economic and workforce development teams, our public safety teams, and all of the individuals on this stage who have really dreamed big about an incredibly exciting event. And we're excited to kick off the Maryland Cycling Classic in Baltimore County. excited about welcoming athletes from all over the world to showcase the beauty of our incredible county and this incredible region. We are proud that Baltimore County offers some of the most scenic routes, I think not just in the state, but as Brendan was telling me earlier today, and I'll let him say it in his words later, maybe the entire country. But really putting our region on the map as yet another example that we are an ideal destination for world-class events. There's a ton of work, a lot of organizational efforts that have to go into this, so thanks to all of the dedicated people on this stage, seen and unseen, who's made this possible. In particular, I again want to thank my Baltimore County team for the ways in which they've stepped up. Our Chief of Police, our Department of Public Works and Transportation, Economic and Workforce, Tourism. Thank you all so much. Baltimore County is indeed proud to do its part as we support this iconic event, and we are honored to host these elite athletes. We are looking forward to a memorable weekend for everyone, fans and spectators and athletes alike. We thank you all for being here, and thanks again for the opportunity to allow Baltimore County to be a partner in this premier event. Thanks.
Al Hutchinson's been one of the biggest champions and one of the first champions for this event, and we appreciate and are very grateful for everything that they've done at Visit Baltimore. Al?
So thanks, Steve. Good afternoon, everyone. And we're so excited that Maryland Cycling Classic is now here in Baltimore. So let me just first start by really thanking Joe and John again for your sponsorship, because it can't happen if we don't have the resources. Commissioner Gill, thank you for what you do on behalf of the state and the governor. We have to have your partnership. And County Executive Johnny O, thank you for your partnership on this event. County Commissioner mentioned that our mayor is serving with the families now and their loss. And I'm going to, if he was here, I know he would say the same thing, and I'm going to say, and that's a big thank you. And I also want to thank Chris for his confidence in us in Baltimore City and the county and the state to bring this event here to Baltimore. Spent over 2+ years trying to make this happen. And as all of us know, the pandemic has changed all of our lives. And this is going to be a great event to showcase the city of Baltimore, to showcase the region, and showcase the state. And we do these kind of events for multiple reasons. Economics is number one. This is going to leave between $3 to $11 million in this community over the weekend. That's a big deal. However, we also do it because culturally it makes sense. The bike jam was yesterday. The give back that this organization does for communities, for young folks who may not even know about cycling. Give them a way to be exposed to this event. And then socially, bringing folks together internationally, folks from Baltimore City, from the county, to enjoy first-class athletics, cycling. This is a big deal. I don't take it for granted that 2+ years, a lot of folks in our city and in our county, Mr. Commissioner, county exec, they were unemployed. They're out of work. So the really significance of this, we're putting people back to work in Baltimore, in our hotels, in our restaurateurs, in our attractions. Folks who are out of work, now they're back because of this event, and they can take care of their families, pay their mortgages, pay their rent, send their kids to college. That's why we do this. And we want everybody to come out this weekend and really celebrate the Maryland Cycling Classic, but also celebrate the greatness of sports, how sports can bring all of us together, but also celebrate us as good people. Because what sports can do, unlike most things, brings everybody together. Whether you're black, you're white, you're gay, you're straight, this is what sports does. And so we're excited about that this weekend. And we're going to continue to partner with this organization, with medalists, to make sure Baltimore, Baltimore County, and the state of Maryland is the best backdrop ever for the Cycling Classic. That's our commitment. I know that's the mayor's commitment, and we thank you for supporting the greatest event in America. Thank you.
This next gentleman I've had the distinct pleasure of working with for now over 2.5 years, and on sponsorship and even the vision of where this event can go. And you need, as Terry was saying before, an engine to drive this thing. And in this case, we've got a Maserati in John Kelly. John.
Thank you, Steve. Kind words. I'm honored to be part of this. And when Terry asked me almost 3 years ago to be the chairman of this event, I said yes for a lot of reasons. I love cycling. I think it's a great sport. I'm in the healthcare business. We work with employers to help them control and manage and deliver their healthcare benefits. And when I think about the challenges we face in healthcare, it really boils down to one thing: our health. And cycling embodies a means of healthy lifestyle. It gives you a chance to think. It gives you a chance to exercise, get things off your mind. And I love it for that reason. But what really drove me to say yes to this was my love for our city and this state. When my mom and dad moved here when we were little kids, they moved here and they said, we want to make our roots here. And we've been blessed as a business, as a family, to have a business that's grown. And we were honored to be part of this as a sponsor. And I wanted to see this showcase Baltimore County, of the state of Maryland. To me, we're sending a postcard to the world about what's great about Maryland, about Baltimore, about where we live and work and play. And I think that's awesome. And we're bringing the best athletes from around the world in one of the largest sports in the world, cycling. More people watch the Tour de France than the Super Bowl. And all eyes in the world are going to be watching. Internationally, this thing's broadcast. Locally, it's broadcast. Nationally, it's broadcast. They're going to see our city, our state, our enthusiasm. And so that is exciting to me, because we all know what's great about where we live and work. And it couldn't have been done without the people here. You know, Johnny O and the county came on board right away. Brandon Scott and the city, he was on board when he was president of the council. It's been a huge lift, the state of Maryland right from the beginning, and UnitedHealthcare right from the beginning. And I can't be more grateful for that, and for your support, Joe, and for the people at UnitedHealthcare. And then the other sponsors, which Steve is going to thank in a little bit. But on behalf of my family, my father's here, and my brothers who run our business, we're honored to be both sponsors, and I am delighted and honored to be the chairman, and I'm excited about this weekend. I hope all of us get a chance to see this and experience it, and the power and the speed and the combination of human effort and efficient technology to create something beautiful. You're going to see it. It's wild. Thanks.
The public-private partnership is so critical, as was mentioned before, and we've been through a lot of ups and downs, and I've been involved in sports for a long time. Never had quite a partner like UnitedHealthcare through thick and thin going through this. Joe Ochipinti from UnitedHealthcare.
So before I jump into my comments, I've been with UnitedHealthcare for about 20 years, and I got to say, living in this market now for the last 3, I've come across many different individuals, whether it be on the provider side, hospitals, our partners, brokers, consultants. I have never met anyone more genuine than John Kelly, and I just can't thank him not only for his friendship, but his commitment to everything we're doing. So please give him another round of applause. Now, John, if you could sell a little bit more UnitedHealthcare, I certainly wouldn't mind that, but that's all right. So on behalf of the 8,000 employees that live and work in this state and the region, and the 3 million members that we serve in this region, we are so happy to be part of making this cycling classic real in this wonderful city. I want to thank everybody who's up on the stage here with me today as well. But I think about yesterday. Yesterday was a little bit of a prelude to kind of kicking off this weekend's events. We had an opportunity to visit James McHenry School, working with some of the children that have been recognized for their academics. And one of the questions that came from one of the kids was kind of, why is UnitedHealthcare involved with this cycling classic? And so I just wanted to share a little bit about that with you. So if you think about cycling and you think about a professional athlete, right, a cyclist has to be determined, they have to have perseverance, they have to also have a healthy body and a healthy mind. And so when you think about UnitedHealthcare, we are a mission-driven organization, truly. And our focus is to help people live healthier lives. Certainly that includes a healthy mind, a healthy body. And you think about a healthy mind, we've been through COVID and the pandemic, and there was a lot of an increase of behavioral health, anxiety, depression. And so, with that, you can translate that over to a professional athlete and how much they go through. And so when you think about the alignment between health and UnitedHealthcare and cycling, it just fits. Second thing is the experience. We're going to be able to stand on a fence and watch these professional cyclists come through the city, our great city of Baltimore, at over 40 miles an hour. I think Robin from the Human Powered Health cycling team mentioned that yesterday. I thought it was going to be about 20 miles an hour. 40? I can't even fathom that. The other thing as it relates to being part of this event is you really, when you think about cycling, not only do you get to be close to the action, you actually get to be in the action. I hear on Sunday there's opportunities for people to get in a chase car and be part of the race. I mean, seriously, think about that. Could you imagine standing on the sideline and be giving a football and say, hey, I need you to go carry this football and be tackled by Ray Lewis? Are you kidding me? That would be impossible. He's certainly front and center from what happened yesterday. But anyway, those are the reasons why we're involved, and I really appreciate just the honor to be part of this entire process. So thank you.
We also had a big community bike jam that kicked off everything last night. UnitedHealthcare was part of that. We had several other sponsors that supported. So it's already been a great weekend to kick off, and we'll continue with that. Charles Aaron has been a big supporter from the beginning. He's the managing director of Human Powered Health. Also spent 13 years here in Baltimore, even though he lives in Minneapolis now. He's got a pretty good perspective on the event, and we thought we'd definitely hand the mic to him because he's been a big supporter from the beginning of this event. Charles.
Thank you, everybody. From Human Powered Health, we are so excited to be here. As Steve mentioned, I have some personal connections back here in Baltimore, and spending a few days here riding around, I am so excited personally to be able to not only showcase to the world what Baltimore County, Maryland, as well as, and let's keep in mind the United States, what we do in the world of professional cycling. So from us, within Human Powered Health, which we stand for empowering people to live a healthier life. We are coming here to race at a very high level and put on a good show. But with that said, the roster of teams, and I know people have said this before, this is world class. This is the Tour de France, the equivalent of Tour de France, coming here for a day, racing in Maryland. And what a great way to showcase the state. So as a Mount Washington former resident, it is our honor to be here. To come into all the different parts of the state and the city and to recognize the people that have put this together. And we touch on this, the 3 years, Terry, John, Steve, Chris, and everybody else, these people, what they did, amazing, absolutely amazing. And every twist and turn that has happened that you never saw would happen, you went through it. And we're still here today. So I just, again, from our racing organization, from the world of cycling, from the global perspective of international sport, it's our honor to be here. Thank you, everybody.
The sport has gone through a lot of ups and downs, certainly over the last 2 years because of COVID, which canceled a lot of events. And so for the athletes that you hear from later on, that's been hard on them, getting back on the bike and racing. We've got Brendan Quirk here. He's been at the helm of USA Cycling for a little over 6-7 months, and he's the right guy at the right time to really get USA Cycling back on the map and up and running. Brendan.
Thanks, Steve. You know, this is, you hear a lot of people talk about how this is the most important bike race in America in 2022. The reality is this is the most important bike race that's happened in America in about the last 5 years. It's a godsend to the sport of American bicycle racing to have terrain as beautiful as Baltimore County. I rode there this morning. I was just astonished. I mean, I thought it was as though I was in rural France. You're seeing some of the horse country out there, the lack of traffic, which we cyclists love, lack of traffic. There was a fabulous combination. I was just astonished at how beautiful it was. It's amazing that the community has this race, this platform to show off just how gorgeous the riding is here. It's not just about the terrain, it is about this Tour de France caliber field that we have here this year. You know, back there against the wall, you've got Nielsen Palace. Nielsen, why don't you wave and say hi? He's an assassin. He's not going to say that, but I'm going to say he is. He is the future of American bike racing. He had all of the American bike racing fans were all shouting at their TVs this summer as he was fighting for a yellow jersey in the Tour de France. To have Nielsen, his teammates, those caliber riders here at this race is amazing for American bike racing. I'm also excited about the fact we have Team USA here in Stars and Stripes, some of our youngest and most exciting development riders racing for our country. It's a great opportunity for them to be racing against these incredibly strong World Tour teams, and it's going to be a great test for them as they're developing as athletes. And of course, for it to be happening in one of America's greatest cities. Baltimore is amazing. I love it here. It offers so much for the people who are coming and traveling here to watch the race, not just on race day, but the restaurants that are here, go see an Orioles game. To be here in a cosmopolitan world-class city like Baltimore is a huge treat. Our organization, USA Cycling, we exist to grow the sport of bicycle racing across the U.S. Really, for us, only two things have been proven to grow the sport of bike racing. One is heroic riders like Nielsen. You've got Bobby Julich sitting right here, Olympic medalist, was a podium winner in the Tour de France a long time ago. Bobby, we're both old, sorry. The other thing that grows the sport are amazing races. Races like the Maryland Cycling Classic are a gift to America and a gift to American bike racing. So my role as CEO of USA Cycling, I want to thank Baltimore for providing our nation this gift. Terry, Mayor Scott's team, Governor Hogan's team, what you're doing for American bike racing is absolutely the right thing at the right time. So really, really grateful for that and super excited for the weekend. So thank you.
In 1989, I was blessed to start my career at an event called the Tour de Trump, and it came right through here in Baltimore. So you look back at the history in 1982, just a footnote here, but it's an important footnote. 40 years ago, the first pro race was held here in Baltimore. So it's an interesting story arc 40 years later that we're back here for America's premier event. To learn more about that, Chris Ehrenholt with Medalist Sports, and they've done a phenomenal job with a very complex situation through COVID, and they've just keep it going. Chris.
Whew, man, it feels good to be here. Good afternoon, and I promise to keep my remarks short, as I know it's truly the world-class athletes that we are excited to hear from. My name is Chris Ehrenholt, owner and president of Medalist Sports, the operational and technical directors of the inaugural Maryland Cycling Classic. I did start my career here almost 30 years ago, actually as Steve's intern, believe it or not, back in the day, so it's just amazing to be full circle here in Baltimore. We're very excited to partner and to be part of this world-class event. Thanks to the credibility as well as the leadership and experience involved, the Maryland Cycling Classic is the highest ranked and only UCI Pro Series level professional cycling event in the United States. We are the only one, which is a huge statement. In addition, the Maryland Cycling Classic is not just an international sporting event. It's a source of public and private pride, which brings together the state and the county and the city communities. And we've seen that all week, and we want to thank everyone who's expressed that. What other sporting event can bring together the gorgeous roads and rolling terrain of Baltimore County in combination with the historic downtown setting of the city of Baltimore, all while broadcast live around the world? Not many sporting events can do that. And it's important to know we are building another sporting tradition here in Maryland and here in Baltimore, and this is only the beginning. Besides a safe event, success from the inaugural Maryland Cycling Classic will include our ability to impact the quality of life within our communities, generate inbound tourism and awareness, positive economic impact and media exposure, value for the key stakeholders, and most importantly, as you heard today, celebrating this great sport and the enjoyment of cycling. How can you not be excited? We're making history here. I've said that so many times, and it's been a journey, but that's the beauty of why we're here and why we put this effort forth. But we truly are making history. And as Brendan touched on, this is the next chapter of American road racing. So we should all be pretty excited. In addition to the worldwide TV coverage via our partners at GCN+, as well as the Tour Tracker app, as well as live locally on the CW, we're very excited to host 16 international teams with riders from over 25 countries. We handpicked these teams, we handpicked the riders, very fortunate for them all to be here. It was really important for us to have the best of the best, but also showcase the region and showcase the United States. The route, as we've heard, is over 120 miles long from start to finish, which will include, as mentioned, riders from 25 countries. Very fortunate, John, thank you for allowing us to start this great event at Kelly Benefits headquarters. You want to get there early. The riders will arrive early at the start line for rider sign-in. You want to get there about mid-morning. We have an incredible course throughout the county. Just going to be gorgeous, going to be difficult, nowhere to hide. Teams have been out there training and traveling today. I'm excited. 3 KOM locations, King of the Mountain locations, as well as 2 sprint lines on the course. They will be traveling well over 40 miles an hour down Falls Road. There is no question. So don't blink. But if you do blink, make your way to the finish line, as they will hit the finishing circuits downtown. Roughly about 4:45, you will see them go through the finish line the first time. And at that point, the circuit downtown we will travel the circuit 4 times, going through 22 different neighborhood partners. As we've handled our outreach the past month, they're excited. So there's going to be street parties out there, fans celebrating the event. So 4 exciting laps in downtown Baltimore with an expected finish time of 6 o'clock to determine the overall inaugural winner of the Maryland Cycling Classic. I didn't cover all the details, but we picked the name for a reason. This is truly a classic. Between the terrain up in the county as well as the urban street racing downtown, it's going to determine the best of the best, no question. I do want to take a moment to thank all the people and organizations who have supported our effort. As mentioned, the leadership and vision of John Kelly, and not just John, but he has a huge team. He has a family behind him. I know you truly have your family behind you, but the employees at Kelly Benefits, they are the best. So I want to thank John for their time and support. Terry Hasseltine, your team has been fabulous, as well as the support of the state and the governor's office. Joe Ochipinti, we can't do this, of course, without corporate partners, so thank you for that. And truly the collaboration that we've had here in Maryland. The county, can't say enough, Leonard and Sam. I think I'm allowed to now say Johnny O, so thank you, sir, for your support. The county police and public works have been first class, so thank you. They've given us the confidence as we have started the process of planning, and now we're in execution mode. So thank you for your team. Mayor Scott, your team is amazing. Al Hutchinson with Visit Baltimore. I do want to give a special recognition to Lindsey Jackson, Sergeant Zellers, unbelievable work, and you're going to see, to me, the strongest word that comes to mind is pride. And I know we all have it here. We've seen it. The team has it. And you're going to see nothing but the best effort. I do also want to point out Carroll County. We are in Carroll County, so you don't hear that too often, but without Carroll County, we needed them, and they've been at the table with planning as well. So important to recognize Carroll County, USA Cycling, the over 400 volunteers, the Vela City Riders, an incredible city-based organization, 400 volunteers that are going to help make sure that this event is very safe. And two more thank yous, the team at KOM Sports with Steve, and of course the team of medalists. There's over 350 staff that have arrived here from around the country who also been handpicked for their expertise. So we have the troops are here, which is great. And finally, a joy for me yesterday was Ray Lewis. You all are so lucky to have him as an ambassador. He is truly an inspirational leader for the sport of cycling, for the community of Baltimore, and you're very fortunate to have him here in your home state and home city. So thank you. So on behalf of medalists, we want to thank you for the opportunity to bring this world-class international cycling back to the state of Maryland, back to the city of Baltimore, and we wish the participants the best of luck. So thank you.
Sometimes you look out when you get with a city where the principals all ride their bikes. Here's someone who has rode their bike their entire life, but more importantly, he supported this unwaveringly since he's been in administration, and we can't do it without the city of Baltimore and the leadership of Mayor Brandon Scott.
Thank you, Steve, and it's great to be here. Sorry I was delayed as we begin the process of honoring one of our fallen heroes, Captain Workman. It's so great to be here with my center, Johnny Olszewski Jr., the Baltimore County Executive on our local elected official basketball team. I'm the point guard, he's the center. He sets the pick, I shoot the threes. Also with our Commerce Secretary, of course, Terry Hasseltine and his great groups, the fabulous Al Hutchinson, John Kelly, all our event sponsor, UnitedHealthcare, everyone that's been a part of bringing the Maryland Cycling Classic to Baltimore City and Baltimore County and our region. And I said it last night, I'll say it again, tell you how excited I am to have the inaugural Maryland Cycling Classic beginning in just under 2 days. It's an incredible opportunity to showcase the Baltimore that we all know and love to a global audience, whether it is those rolling hills on Falls Road or the highlights of downtown Baltimore, and spotlight our untapped bike culture here in Baltimore. As was said, I have been riding my bike my whole life. It's in my blood. There was a time when I was a young man and my family reunions in North Carolina every year that my uncles and older cousins decided they were going to ride their bikes from Baltimore to North Carolina, and they actually made it the second time. The first time we picked them up on the back of a pickup truck in Emporia, Virginia, which was close. But with the combination of that, with the combination of the Cycling Classic coming off of our CIAA basketball tournament, the announcement that we're going to have the AAA Junior Olympics, with our Orioles winning again, and yes, I predicted it before anyone else, with our Ravens starting, we are cementing Baltimore as the sports city in the Mid-Atlantic. We are showcasing to the whole world that we love sports in Baltimore, and most importantly, sports love us. And we're going to show everyone again, with cyclists, residents, and visitors, how our city and our region show up and show out. I welcome everyone in town to check out our renowned restaurants, to go eat the food, to pick your spot on the corner to see those bikes come down at 40 miles per hour. But we just want you to have a good time. This is showcasing what we can do in partnership in a region, in a state, when we come together. This won't be the last time. It's not the first time. And we look forward to building the Maryland Cycling Classic so the whole world will know that this is the top cycling race. Thank you very much.
That concludes the first wave. We're going to do a photo opportunity with all these gentlemen up here. So we'll clear this out real quick. And as we're doing that, I just want to reiterate where to watch. We've got live coverage locally on the CW from 1:30 to 6:30. 1:30 to 6:30 on the CW, wall-to-wall coverage. Live stream on Global Cycling Network internationally. That'll be going out to 60-plus countries. We also have an app. Everybody can download it, Tour Tracker. The Tour Tracker app, Maryland Cycling Classic. Really cool integrated way to watch the race, GPS tracking on the profile. We've got a video embed there. We've got a blog. If the race goes by, we encourage people to get that and download that app. And then we're also live on the MarylandCyclingClassic.us website. And I'd like to quickly, I think everybody's met them, but Martine and Katrina real quick, our Chief Media Relations Officers, thank you for all your work, and they'll be around all weekend and can answer a lot of questions or even pull people for one-on-ones after this. So we'll do a quick photo op right now, and then we'll move on to, unless there are any general questions right now. Okay.